here. Jim winning game 1. Getting ready for a second one. Oh, this is blue-white versus Jeskai.
Ooh, I bet this is going to be a quick one.
I love this kind of matchup. Normally, the blue-white decks are good in this matchup, but I don't know if in Modern that's actually, I mean, how true that actually is. The red mana is pretty free for Jim.
Yeah, never count out Lightning Bolt. Having access to Electrolyze Snapcaster Mage as an avenue to just kind of outgrind your opponent is actually pretty valuable in matchups like this, where you can just proactively Snapcaster Mage, whereas Gerrick's deck is geared up to always being playing the defensive role.
Yeah, he actually only has 2 Snapcasters to Jim's 4, which I really feel like that matters.
I just don't know how you try to register a blue deck in Modern and want to cut that card.
Serum Visions for Gerrick. He has boarded in Ruined Halo. What do you Halo in this matchup?
That's a great question.
Celestial Colonnade. Is that real?
Colonnade's powerful.
He has 4 Spreading Seas.
In theory, you could name Lightning Bolt, right? It's just a card.
Oh gosh, don't do that. I mean, yes, you can name it, but
I don't know. If you expect, well, no, you can't.
Elspeth's on champion. Gideon.
No, I was gonna say if you expect Geist of Saint Traff, but you don't turn off the Angel token, so that's kind of purposeless.
And also, this is Jim. There's no Geist of Saint Traff in his sideboard. Have you ever watched Jim play on stream before? There's not Geist in his board.
I don't know. I'm just really hoping that Gerrick casts the card and answers the question for me, because I'm tapped out.
Second Hallowed Fountain shocks for it, but makes no play.
Sure. I mean, it's way safer for Jim to do that.
Well, Jim has the Wear Tear for the Halo anyway, so who knows? I mean, Wear Tear is actually pretty good in the matchup. There's Detention Spheres and such on Gerrick's
You want to
side.
free up your red sources against Spreading Seas. That can actually be a thing.
Players will just trade land drops. A lot of times you'll see here, both players are really just going to focus on not missing land drops.
Missing land drops is so punishing in blue mirrors.
I do like this Jim a sideboard Ancestral Vision, the draw here. It's nice.
Yeah.
Something you can do just while making land drops, pretty in.
As long as you're making your land drops, starting to draw extra cards, and also for Jim, it's pretty free to throw away extra cards that are lightning bolts. You just cast them.
Wonder how much Mana Leak, Logic Knot we're going to see on each side. Remember, Jace the Mind Sculptor is in the format now, so there is a great tap-out card that each side has.
Logic Knot remains excellent throughout the sideboarded games.
Okay.
Mana Leak is pretty weak. It's one that generally you want to try to board out. It plays in a counter war.
Well, this is going to force some action. On Jim's end step, Gerrick makes Vendilion click. Jim has Jace, Cryptic, Dispel, Wear Tear, Land. So Gerrick has gotten the okay to just run out of Jace if one's in his hand.
This hand's a little tough to break up with the click.
Yeah, I almost would just leave it be.
I was going to say the card that I would look at is Dispel, just because it's the most efficient. Yeah. If Jim's glutted with 4 mana stuff, that's generally fine.
Yeah, I mean, if Gerrick has Jace in his hand, I would leave it all just to make sure there's no Logic Knot.
Yeah.
And he leaves it all. I wonder if are we going to see the Mind Sculptor? Hits for 3, Jim to 14.
Also, none of this stuff is a good answer to Vendilion click, so leaving that and just closing the game with your 3-1.
Yeah, it makes the 4th land and just says go, so you might just be right here. If you had Jace, you'd still cast it, though, right? You're not going to just...
Depends what the rest of the hand is. If Gerrick just has some permission, can fight some counter wars.
His own Cryptics?
Yeah. The thing about just having your own Cryptic is, depending what's Jim casting that's forcing the action, because Jim still has a Dispel.
Yeah. I like the trade. See, the thing is that if I had Jace, I'd run it out. Like, what card is going to Jim make that's better than your Jace? There are no cards better than your Jace. That's not a thing.
You would also tax a potential Lightning Bolt for Jim, whereas right now you want to point it at the click, but the Jace would be a distraction from that. There is a question as to how many actual just Lightning Bolts are in Jim's deck pull sideboard.
Yeah, if you played cast Jace, would you plus to start just to be sure?
I think you plus
Probably,
the Jace, but it's more the matter of this Vendilion click might just be really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, what Jim will have access to turn 4, Jace plus Dispel. Gerrick hopefully has that covered. So you see Jim shocks and says go, wants to leave up his own Cryptics.
And you can end step a Cryptic. Sometimes just trying to bounce a land, especially when your hand is so heavy on 4 mana things, is a way how you open the door.
Jim down to 8. This Vendilion click's been great.
The thing is, though, when Gerrick's at 8, Jim has ways to close the game outside of combat.
Now, hold on. Does Gerrick have land 5? He does not. Jim's going to end step, use the Cryptic. That's just like you mentioned. Without land 5, ooh. He's going to Cryptic bounce the Vendilion Click, however, though.
That's a little surprising.
Well, he's at 8.
He does get to fight over the click on the way back down.
Yeah. If he wants to have Dispel to fight back over the click, he's got a shock to 6 here. I'm not sure Jim wants that. I guess all he has to do is survive till this Visions comes off suspend, and then everything's pretty good.
If he shocks and has Cryptic Dispel, he's winning the fight over the click. There's no two ways about that.
And that's what he's going to do. Down to 6. He's just banking on this Vision.
He almost wanted to see Gerrick just recast the click during his own end step.
Yes, I think I did want to see that. I guess if that happens, no wait, if that happens, Jim just Jace unsummons the click, right?
I mean, yeah.
I think you could take it.
Is that really a problem?
I don't know. Now we're down to there's too many ifs, and Gerrick goes to cleanup and discard.
It's the card that he easily discards to hand size.
Oh, okay, that's why you boarded in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. That's not, that's like, and Jim, his opponent's discarding to hand size and only has 4 lands. If I'm Jim, I'm absolutely just going to play lands and pass back. This is great. End step Vendilion Click from Gerrick. Jim will Cryptic command to counter.
I want to counter bounce a land. Bounce one of those hollowed fountains.
Yeah, I don't want to counter draw. I have Visions coming off.
Yeah.
Yeah, counter bounce. Let's do it. Gerrick dispels, Jim dispels back, and it was counter. Oh, it was counter draw.
Boo, Jim Davis. Boo.
We're both far too aggressive. Jace the Mind Sculptor from Gerrick.
I think Jim's far too not aggressive enough.
And Gerrick brainstorms, which means this Lightning Bolt in Jim's hand, that's going to take care of Jace.
Mm-hmm. That was a good pickup. Also makes it easier to manage hand size with the Ancestral Vision because he'll just be able to cast Lightning Bolt.
Oh, Gerrick still didn't find a land off the brainstorm?
Yeah, these things happen. It is unfortunate.
Oh, that means the next 2 cards aren't lands either.
Oh, he brainstorm locked himself.
Yeah, I mean, that is what that means. You can't play a control mirror on 4 lands when your opponent has 7.
Accurate.
That's.
I agree with your assessment.
I'm not saying he's like playing. It wasn't his choice, but Lightning Bolt takes care of Jace. Jim's just gonna press this mana advantage. With Field of Ruin, I would not touch that Field of Ruin. I do not want to shuffle Gerrick's deck at all.
Nope.
And Jim plays his own Jace and has Logic not up. I mean, this is when it's 7 lands versus 4, this is just what happens.
Yes. You might see Jim scry here.
Well, yeah, you don't want to Fate Seal because you already know the top 2 cards aren't lands.
All right, if he had 6 cards in hand, the brainstorm is just good.
Yeah, you don't have to scry because your opponent's not playing red.
I was thinking his hand might be 7 cards.
Oh, you don't want to discard.
Right.
Well, that's true.
You also just get it to 5 against something like another click, a Celestial Colonnade hit.
Yeah, what this means is Jim will Logic not anything Gerrick plays, and when he untaps with the Jace, he's home free.
Yeah. Now, there's some answers here. And Gerrick has Detention Sphere, but that's going to be countered.
Or maybe hit by Wear Tear.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, plenty of answers to that one.
You probably like Logic Knot it so that if a Dispel happens,
then you still have the Wear Tear.
Yeah, you just want to win the fight over the Jace that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Serum Visions from Gerrick. It's fine.
And
we know the top one's not a land.
Right.
And if he leaves the land on top, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen to it.
It might find its way to the bottom.
Yeah. You should do the mind game. You should put your land 2nd from the top.
Yeah,
no, wait, no. Then I'll just look at the top card and I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
Yeah,
I was trying to be clever, but then I would just think.
You think that you're more clever than Jace the Mind Sculptor?
What would have happened is I would have made that play, and I would have thought I was really clever, and then my opponent would have plussed and targeted me, and then I would have been like, I'm stupid.
Oh, I get to draw that one, huh?
Like, well, I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. Jim negates Detention Sphere. So many options. Untaps, he has Logic Knot, a hard counter, Jace. Oh, boy. Vendilion Click. More land, more cards.
Yeah, Jim.
His hand is 3 Snapcasters.
Okay.
8 to 4 lands. Nice.
You don't get to this stage in the game with a 3 Snapcaster hand and lose.
Oh, we can Snapcast Cryptic, we can Snapcast Negate,
Your opponent would have to have...
another Cryptic. We have 2 Cryptics in yard.
Your opponent would have to have like 4 Spell Snares to beat that.
Yeah. You can only cast 3. Yeah, Plains doesn't cast Spell Snare.
That is unfortunate. That is really one of the biggest downsides of basic Plains.
Jim goes to work on Fate Sealing. Gerrick had a very good start to this game. See, Jim actually gave him a Colonnade.
Yep, that's beatable.
Unstep Vendilion Click. I'd look at Gerrick's hand. I'm not sure I'd take anything. Things are pretty good right now.
Yeah, see what's up.
Look at these cards and say, yes, I can beat them.
I mean,
and then keep going.
I don't think Jim's going to put one of his Snapcaster mages on the bottom of his library.
Gerrick will attempt to Cryptic this Vendilion Click.
I would pass on that. I would not allow that to happen.
So Jim's actually down on blue mana here a bit.
Not down enough.
Snapcaster.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's still 5 blue sources here. There's Negate in the graveyard. This stuff's all just fine.
Yeah, and he'll Snap Dispel. Looks at Gerrick's hand. We see 2 Negates. Elspeth Sun's Champion. Looks like 2 Path to Exiles.
Pretty surprised to see multiple Path to Exiles in. You have to fight over Vendilion Click, but it does not feel good to be doing that.
And like I said before, what's going to happen is Jim will look at Gerrick's hand and say, yes, I can beat those cards.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I guess you get to Path to Exile my Snapcaster Mage.
And my Vendilion Click. It's so good. I will hit you for 5. Jace will Brainstorm. Yeah, Jim drew a Wear Tear. He wants to shuffle that one away.
Well, he had fewer than 7 cards in hand. You got to fix that. That's a problem.
Spell Snare picked up. Puts back Wear Tear. Puts back Glacial Fortress. Keeps Fetch Land. That's a perfect Brainstorm. Swings for 5. Gerrick to 10. Cleaning things up. Jim Davis, with this win, will move him to 11-2. It's very good position for a top 8. He'll have a pair of Winnins coming up.
You're one of the few players near the top of the standings with Jace this weekend.
Serum Visions post-shuffle.
Gerrick also still in pretty good position.
Yeah. Both players could top 8 here. Gerrick will have to win both as opposed to winning one.
Right.
Very possible.
He's already won 10 this weekend.
Yeah. Draws Crucible of Worlds. I bet Jim won't give him that one. Whatever. What do I know? I mean, he's got a Wear Tear somewhere, right? Or did he shuffle it away?
There's already a Flooded Strand in graveyard.
Yeah, it'll make Gerrick some land drops, but
even that's fine. It's +1 card return, so is Jace. You would fight. It kind of depends how much stuff Jim has available, and because he's drawing and brainstorming every turn, I assume that answer is enough.
Snapcaster Mage. We know that there's a negate in Gerrick's hand, so it's going to be Snapcaster Cryptic. And if he negates, Jim will Logic Knot. So he'll negate.
Well, he can't Logic Knot as he has a Sacred Foundry untapped, but he can
Spell
Snare.
Snare. That's even better.
Spell Snare is better than many things.
I like Spell Snare a lot as a card. See, I like counter spells that always counter something that costs more. So Spell Snare, the only thing better than is Mental Misstep, the 0 that counters a 1.
Ooh, that card's just messed up. And Jim does take it down. You see a concession from Gerrick.
And would you